الجسد فصب عليهم ربك صوت عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يؤثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري أنه قال عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة إيتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختار الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك، فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب اللواء، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء وأخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودموهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا هرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن أعاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، أذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرض مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فأهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرض مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمس مضيئة ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء. فقال لي أبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبين وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله هما ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على
जख्मों से चूर बेटे का गोदी में रख के सर कहती रही ये माँ सो जा मेरे हुसैन। जख्मों से चूर बेटे का गोदी में रख के सर कहती रही ये माँ सो जा मेरे हुसैन। लोरी समझ के आज तू मादर की सिसकियाँ सो जा मेरे हुसैन। कोई नहीं है अब यहाँ जो तुझको सताए, बिखरे पड़े बिखरे हैं हर तरफ यहाँ सब अपनों के लाशें। लेटा है मेरे बेटे तू अपनों के दरमियाँ सो जा मेरे हुसैन। तेरे बदन की आखिरी मंजिल है करबला, लेकिन सफर अभी तेरे सर का नहीं रुका। है लाल तेरे सर की अभी मुंतज़िर सिना सो जा मेरे हुसैन। हाथों पे तेरे चेहरे पे आँखों में जख्म है, जख्मी तू इस कदर है के जख्मों में जख्म है। सहलाए तुझको बेटे मादर कहाँ सो जा मेरे हुसैन। कल से न करबला में तुझे आऊंगी नजर, फिरती रहूंगी साथ में ज़ैनब के दर बदर, जी भर के आज सुन ले बादर से लोरियां, सो जा मेरे हुसैन, ए लाल अपनी जात में खुद करबला है तू, लाशें उठा उठा के बहुत थक गया है तू, कुछ देर माँ की गोद में आराम से यहाँ सो जा मेरे हुसैन, आंखें तड़प के खोलता है किस लिए भला, अकबर की शक्ल फिर भी है नजरों में तेरी क्या, बेटे का दर्द क्या है बस जानती है माँ, सो जा मेरे हुसैन, मैं जानती हूँ ये मेरी लोरी है आखिरी, सोएगा आज तू तो ना जागेगा फिर कभी, इस दिल से पूछ किस तरह देती हूँ लोरियां, सो जा मेरे हुसैन, सकलैन गहरी नींद वो उस वक्त सो गया, लोरी के दरमियान जो मादर ने ये कहा, देखा ना तुझ से जाएगा ज़ैनब का कारवां, सो जा मेरे हुसैन, जख्मों से चूर बेटे का गोदी में रख के सर, कहती रही ये माँ, सो जा मेरे हुसैन। सलवात पढ़ दे मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद। محمد وآل محمد. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. दूध पीवन से दुख बड़ा और मांगन किससे नी. मजनदी नर छल रहे, हाय मजनदी नर छल रहे. खाए होवे गले तीर. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, आ मेरी गोदी में रे असगर. तुमने जंगल में बसती बसाई, आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. उठो कलजवा मुँह मलो, गल विच बाहन डाल. धूपत आती धूल, हाय धूपत आती धूल. ये कहान पड़े हो लाल. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, खाक वो खून में पड़े. आ उठा लूं मुझसे रूठे, खाक खून में पड़े. आ उठा लूं मुझसे रूठे. कैसे सोते पड़े हो मैं आई, हाय कैसे सोते पड़े हो मैं आई. आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. कुकट बन बन में फिरी, ढूंढत ए दिलदार. सांझ भई आए नहीं, हाय सांझ भई आए नहीं. कहान लगाई बार. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. बस्ती वालों ने मिलकर दगा की, यहाँ के हाकिम ने हम पर जफा की. बस्ती वालों ने मिलकर दगा की, यहाँ के हाकिम ने हम पर जफा की. दूंगी जाकर नजफ में दुहाई, हाय दूंगी जाकर नजफ में दुहाई. आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. रूप तेरा ऐ लाडले, देखो चंदर ललचाए. रूप तेरा ऐ लाडले, देखो चंदर ललचाए. किस पापन की नजर लगी के, हाय किस पापन की नजर लगी के. मुखड़ा गयो कुमलाए. बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई, आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर. ये झंडूले तेरे बाल प्यारे, खाक वो खून में है आलूदा सारे. ये झंडूले तेरे बाल प्यारे, खाक वो खून में है आलूदा सारे. कोई मन्नत बढ़ाने न पाई, हाय कोई मन्नत बढ़ाने न पाई। आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर, बानो मख्तल में कहती ये आई। आ मेरी गोदिया मेरे असगर। सलवात सल्ले अला
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters in faith, Assalamu alaikum. Let's begin the night by reciting Dua Shafai Maris 5 times for those who are in need of our duas. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء 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 أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Now there is an update on the Islamic calendar. We have received the Islamic calendar for this year and they're being sold at $5 each. Please contact the treasurer and ladies. For the men's side, please contact the treasurer, and for the ladies, please contact the chair lady. Now for our upcoming program. Our next program is going to be on the July 31st, 2024. Shahadat Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. Program will begin at 7 p.m. with the recitation of the Holy Quran. 7:05 Hadith Qissa. 7:15 Marsiya. 7:25 Majlis by a visiting scholar Muhammad Ali Najafi. 8:15 will be the Matam and 8:25 will be the Ziyarat. Tabarruk will be served and shortly after we will have Jamaat Salat. Next, I would like to again remind you of an important safety matter. We request that all parents and guardians ensure that their children remain under their direct supervision at all times. It has come to our attention that some children may have been moving around unsupervised. For the safety and well-being of all children and to maintain a secure environment for everyone, it is imperative that the parents and guardians closely monitor their children. Please understand that this is a measure. It is necessary to prevent accidents and maintain order throughout the program. Your vigilance and cooperation in this matter is not only greatly appreciated, but highly crucial. Lastly, Sheikhna, on behalf of the management and all of the attendees, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed Sheikh and for accepting our invitation to deliver majalis at our center. Although your presence may have been short, but your lectures, your eloquent recitation of the majalis have been a source of immense spiritual upliftment and guidance for all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly for your dedication and efforts in spreading the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now please recite Surah Fatiha for Kul Arwal Mu'mineen wal Mu'minat. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah. Now, in the Husayni spirit, let's all stand up, move forward, and welcome our respected scholar, Sheikh Nabil Awan, to the member with 3 loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala.
شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته، ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد. وعلى الجوهرة القدسية البتول الأزراء فاطمة الزهراء صلوات الله وسلامه عليها وبعلها أمير المؤمنين وقائد الغر المهجلين وبنيها الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقتلتهم وغاسب حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم ملعونين. أما بعد, for the happiness of Hazrat Zahra Marziya, for the enlightenment of the graves of your marhumin, of the graves of the shuhada, ulama and siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahl al-Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam arwahun al-fida, please recite your loudest salawat. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sake of these tears, for the sake of this aza of Imam al-Husayn, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives our sins. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Oh Allah, those who are ill, give them shifa'ah. Those who are in debt, clear their debts. Those who are in education, make them successful. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to go on the ziyarat of Abi Abdullah this year and every year. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq for Hajj and Umrah this year and every year. Ya Allah, give victory to the people of Palestine. Ya Allah, destroy every oppressor wherever in the world they may be. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his true muntadhireen, his true waiters, for the acceptance of these du'as. And any other du'as that you brothers and sisters have brought, please recite another of your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is Rahman and the one who is Rahim. We have reached our final lecture in this two-part series. And although our time has been short, I would like to thank you for extending the invitation to me to come and speak, and your hospitality in that regard. Regarding, I'm going to get louder, so I can get louder if you're sure. Okay. Thank you for your hospitality, and also to apologize if I have said anything, done anything in yesterday's lecture through my words or my actions that may have offended you in any way, shape or form. Then I seek your forgiveness, as it wasn't my intention to do so. And if I haven't offended you thus far, then it will probably be this lecture that does it. Recite salawat, please. Our topic of discussion was, why is it that the hujjah of Allah is always alone? What is the reason for these A'imma alayhimus salam, these men of God, the prophets of God, the awliya of Allah, the awsiya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with all of their greatness, with all of their kamal and the characteristics that they possess, Why is it that they are still أيها الغريب? Why is it that we address them as غريب or غريب الغرباء or مظلوم or الوتر الموتور, the one that is totally alone? Why is it the case? If they had all of these great attributes, what is it that drove the people away from them? And the purpose behind our doing so was for one particular reason, one particular purpose, that we also await an Imam. We also are those that are hoping to be by the side of the Imam. But history has shown that not everyone has that tawfiq to be able to be by the side of the Imam. In Karbala, there were individuals who with the best of intentions came to Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, but never got the tawfiq of shahadat. For example, Tarimma is one of those individuals that meets Imam al-Husayn just outside of Karbala, and he has 5 or 6 individuals with him. And Tarimma is a sha'ir of Ahl al-Bayt alayhimu salam. He is an ashiq of Imam al-Husayn. He would recite poetry. He would, wherever he would see the Imam, he would praise the Imam. He would do everything out of the love of the Imam. When he meets Abi Abdullah near Karbala, and the Imam says, we are heading to this place, Tarimma says that, Ya Aba Abdullah, me and my companions, we will join you and we will give our lives for you. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam accepts. But then Tarimma says, Ya Aba Abdullah, I have one important matter to deal with in Kufa. So if you would allow me, I'm going to quickly go, deal with that matter, and then come back to you straight away. The Imam says, Tarimma, go, but be back quick. Don't leave it too late. Tarimma leaves, and he returns. But the time is Asr on the day of Ashura. His opportunity passed. Imam al-Husayn says, Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, وَالْفُرَصَةُ تَمَرُّ مَرَّ السَّحَابِ. Opportunities are like clouds. Grab hold of them before they pass you by. Tarimma had an opportunity to be amongst the shuhada of Karbala. He had the opportunity to be amongst one of the shuhada. But yet, what was it? He was admirable in what he was doing. His niyyah was there. But his attachment to his own matters denied him the opportunity of being a shaheed. I need to sort some things out at home, he said. But when one is with the hujjah of Allah, then everything is lost. You leave everything for the sake of the hujjah of Allah. You do not have any other desire except the desire for the hujjah of Allah. It's about tawfiq. Do you know that there was someone that left Imam al-Husayn on the day of Ashura just before the time of Asr? A man by the name of Zahaq ibn Abdullah al-Mishraqi. He joined Imam al-Husayn along the way. He brought his companions with him. But he said to Imam al-Husayn, Yabna Rasulillah, I love you, I care for you, I will fight by your side, but I don't want to lose my life. I don't want to lose my life. If you accept these terms, that I will come, I will be with you, I'll fight by your side, but when I realize that you cannot win this battle and my life is at risk, then you will give me permission to leave. It is said that Zahaq ibn Abdullah al-Mishraqi, he fought multiple times on the day of Ashura. He went out, he fought, he was wounded, he was bleeding. And Imam alayhi salam did dua for him as well when he was fighting. But near the time, to some say by the time of Asr or just before the time of Asr, he comes to the Imam, says, Yabna Rasulillah, do you remember our deal? There's no one left. There's no one here anymore. You said to me that I could leave if the battle wasn't going in your favor, and I don't want to lose my life. Imam looks at him and says, yes. If you want to go, then go. Have you a way to get out of here? He says, yes. I've hidden a horse in behind one of these hills. I can leave. And by this time, the army of Umar ibn Sa'd, they were tired. They'd had enough of the war as well. They didn't care who was coming or going anymore. Zahaq ibn Abdullah al-Mishraqi, he mounts upon his horse and he leaves Karbala. Imam says to him, Zahaq, but remember one thing, ride away as fast as you can. Because if anyone hears the cry of my istighatha and does not reply, they will be damned. Ride away from here as fast. I don't want to pass judgment on Zahaq ibn Abdullah because he came with the permission of the Imam, he left with the permission of the Imam, and he is the main narrator of the day of Ashura. The number of 72 that we get is from Zahaq ibn Abdullah al-Mishraqi. He came back, he told Abi Mikhnaf, and then Abu Mikhnaf is then who wrote the maqtal, the initial maqatil. From amongst the maqatil, the initial one was Abu Mikhnaf. I don't want to pass judgment on him because the Imam gave him permission. But the point is, opportunity. Today, when we go and we recite that ziyarah and we say, Bi-abi antum wa ummi, may my mother and father be sacrificed for you, O Hur, O Zuhair, O Habib, O Muslim ibn Awsaja. Zahaq ibn Abdullah could have been part of that. But because of his decision, his attachment to his own life, he decided to move away. So the first thing that removes a person or stops a person from staying by the side of the hujjah of Allah is attachment. It's that attachment to the world, attachment to worldly things. The second thing that causes an individual to leave the wali of Allah, second major thing, is the attacks of shaitan. He's the sworn enemy of the son of Adam and will attack from every single angle. He says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you give me life for this long, and Allah says, we'll give it to you until the appointed time. And he says, and so I will sit on Sirat al-Mustaqim, and I will attack them from in front of them and from behind them, from the left of them and the right of them. I will attack them from all four sides. There will be no space for them to go. He's there, he's the sworn enemy of the human being, attacking from every single side. And he's one of the main reasons that the sons of Adam move from that path of truth. They move from that haqq and leave the wali of Allah alone. In her khutbah fadakiyya, Sayyida Zahra salamullah alayha, she has a line. She says, وَأَطْلَعَ الشَّيْطَانُ رَأْسُهُ مِنْ مَغْرَزِهِ هَاتِفٌ بِكُمْ فَأَلْفَاكُمْ لِدَعْوَتِهِ مُسْتَجِيبِينَ. She says that, and the moment my father left this world, وَأَطْلَعَ الشَّيْطَانُ رَأْسَهُ مِنْ مَغْرَزِهِ, Shaitan reared his head from behind of you. هَاتِفٌ بِكُمْ, he invited you towards him. And you accepted his invitation and you came towards what he wanted from you. Says the moment Rasulullah closed his eyes on this world, you gave in to what shaitan wanted from you. And so Ali alayhi salam was left alone. They gave in to the desires, the wills, the waswasa of shaitan. And so now we find that Zahra, the daughter of Rasulullah, is seen going every single night, sitting on a camel to the houses of the Muhajirin and Ansar of Medina. Amirul Mu'mineen is holding. Imagine the madhlumiyat and the ghurbat of Ali ibn Abi Talib at this point. That Ali is holding the reins of the camel and they're walking through the streets, and Zahra Marziya is going to every door of the Muhajirin and the Ansar, and she is knocking on it. Why have you left Ali alone? Why have you left Ali alone? You know what my father said in Ghadir. Good companions didn't want to get involved. That fear of getting involved. Mu'adh ibn Jabal was a companion of the Holy Prophet. He was sent by the Holy Prophet to Yemen to teach the people. But when Zahra alayhi salam comes to the house of Mu'adh ibn Jabal, she says to Mu'adh, why have you left Ali? Why won't you come? He says to her, Bibi, I know that Ali is on haqq. I know Ali is on haqq. I know Rasulullah appointed Ali at Ghadir. But Bibi, please, let me off from this obligation. I don't want to get involved in this matter. I don't want to get involved in this matter. She turns to him and says that, Mu'adh, I will never speak to you for as long as I'm alive. I don't want to pass judgment on what the end of Mu'adh ibn Jabal is, because he had a good start with the Prophet. But this certainly is a negative point in his life. She says, I will never speak to you for as long as I'm alive, and she leaves the house of Mu'adh ibn Jabal. As she's leaving, the son of Mu'adh ibn Jabal comes in. He sees her, he comes to his father and says, what was Zahra alayhi salam doing here? Says she came and she asked me, why is it that you're not helping Ali? Says, what did you say? Said that I asked to be excused from this matter. And he said, and then what did she say? She said, as long as I am alive, I will never speak to you again. Listen to what the son of Mu'adh ibn Jabal says. Says, if Zahra alayha salam will not speak to you for as long as she is alive, I will never speak to you for as long as I am alive. Why? Remember, ita'at of the parents is wajib. But what did I say yesterday? Sometimes that which is wajib, that which is haqq, gets suppressed by what the hujjah of Allah wants. Zahra alayha salam is the hujjah of Allah. She is the mother of all of the hujjah of Allah. And so when she, salamullah alayha, stops speaking to someone, he says, then who am I? Even if you are my father, but who am I then to speak to you if Zahra will not speak to you? Shaitan reared his head and pulled them away from the hujjah of Allah, enticing them with the dunya, enticing them with this world. And you see it happen in the event of Karbala. Shurayh Qadi, he was a judge in the time of Amirul Mu'mineen. He messed up, Amirul Mu'mineen brought him back, he allowed him to remain. He was a judge during the time of Amirul Mu'mineen. In fact, according to some narrations that say that the sons of Muslim ibn Aqil, Ibrahim and Muhammad came with him, and when Muslim is they're trying to look for him, in some of the narrations it says that he took his sons to the house of Shurayh and said, take care of my sons. It's not safe. He trusted him. He trusted him with his sons. This shows who Qadi Shurayh was. But the moment Ibn Ziyad stepped in, and Ibn Ziyad knew the cost, the price of every single person there. Said Shuray, 100,000 dirham, 100,000 dinar, 100,000 gold coins is his price. He said to him, we will give you 100,000 dinar. We want you to write a fatwa to say that the killing of Husayn is an act of God. Whosoever goes to kill Abu Abdullah. This is why Imam al-Sajjad says on the day of Ashura, all of them were out there with what? كلهم يتقربوا إلى الله بدمه. All of them wanted to, they were trying to get closer to Allah by killing my father. They believed they were doing God's work. And so Shuray, when he's presented with 100,000 dinar, if he writes the fatwa, he says, I want 50,000 up front and 50,000 when I've written it. They say, fine. And there he gives. Umar ibn Sa'ad as well. He's the same. For the governorship of Ray, he was willing to go and kill the Hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he never ever got to reach Ray. He was never given that governorship. It doesn't happen all of a sudden as well. You know, this misguidance of shaitan, it doesn't happen all of a sudden. It's slowly, it's tadriji. It's not that you wake up one day and you're misguided. You wake up one day and all of a sudden you're on the path of haram and you're going to hell. No. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he was known by this name of Hamamatul Masjid, the pigeon of the masjid, because he would always be in front in the masjid, always reciting Quran, always reciting Quran. When they told him his father had died, he was sitting there and reading Quran, and they came to him and they said to him, your father has died and now you are the Khalifa of the Muslims. He was reading the Quran. He shut the Quran and he said, هذا فراق بيني وبينك. Now this is separation between me and you, Quran. He leaves it. And he was the worst of the Khulafa of Bani Umayyah. One that was Hamamatul Masjid, the pigeon of the masjid, the one that was seen always in the masjid, became the worst of the Khulafa of Bani Umayyah. And one of the worst things that he did was appoint someone like Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi. Hajjaj was that person that is known as the butcher of the Shi'as. He would not eat. He would not eat. He wouldn't get hungry. The only way he'd get hungry is when they used to bring a Shia in front of him and behead him. And when he would see the blood flow, then he would laugh and say, now I'm hungry. And then he would eat. Sometimes you watch a bird get slaughtered. You watch a chicken get slaughtered, you don't feel like eating that meat. Well, many of us, we like to go to the shop and buy it in the shop. I don't want to see the process. Yeah? But this man would go and he would slaughter a human being. And they say, now my hunger has returned. And he would eat. Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he says that there was a time where I couldn't even see a bird be slaughtered. If someone killed a bird in front of me, says it used to upset me. Says, but now I kill a human and it doesn't bother me. The misguidance of shaitan is slow. It enters your life slowly. You don't even realize it's happening. You don't even realize what path you're going down. It's very slowly. Shimar wasn't always Shimar. He wasn't. He wasn't always that mal'oon Shimar that we know. No, Shimar fought with Imam Ali in Siffin against Muawiyah. He was injured in the battle of Siffin. He's a veteran of the battle of Siffin by the side of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But then Shimar, same shimmer on Asr Ashur. You see how shaitan comes into the life of a person. Talha, look at Talha. Talha's life is something to be taken as an example. In what sense? As an example of not being misguided. Talha is the father-in-law of Imam al-Husayn. It's father-in-law of Imam al-Husayn. His daughter Ishaq she's the daughter of Talha. Imam al-Husayn's wife Ishaq is the daughter of Talha, from which his daughter Fatima al-Kubra comes, the one that was married to Hassan al-Muthanna, from where all of the Hassani Sadat come from. Ishaq is the daughter of Talha. Imagine, Talha had two daughters. They were both very good women. He gave one of them to Imam al-Husayn, and he gave the other to Mus'ab ibn Zubayr, the killer of Mukhtar al-Thaqafi. Two daughters. This is that same Talha that went with Imam Ali alayhi salam on various excursions. He was there, but in the end, same Talha that stood against Imam Ali in Jamal. Zubayr is the cousin of Imam Ali. 16 years of age, he was fighting by the side of the Prophet. Zubayr was there from the start. What else can you say about Zubayr? He was the one of the 7 people that was given permission to come to the funeral of Fatima Zahra. Imagine. He is of the one of the 7. Only 7 people were allowed in the funeral of a Zahra alayha salam. One of them is Zubayr. But then what happened to this Zubayr? He stands against Amir al-Mu'mineen to fight him. Don't think that just because you are on haqq now, that you will be on haqq tomorrow or next month or the week after. It's not necessary that just because I'm on haqq now, that I will always remain on haqq. Because shaitan is slowly but surely working on you. Makes a sin common for you. I can't see anything wrong with it. You know, there is a narration that says that there are 4 things that are worse than the sin itself. Whatever that sin is, it can be not praying, not observing hijab, not, whatever it is. That sin, it could be anything. Not observing hijab, not praying, shaving beard, all of these. Any of those sins. It says, but there's 4 things that's worse than sin itself. What is it? The first, al-israr. Al-israr. Insistence on it. I do it every single day. I do it all the time. I'm not backing down from it. I continue to do it. Al-israr says insisting on doing a sin is worse than the sin itself. The second, viewing it as something small. Say, no, there's so many other things I do. This isn't important. Like, why we should talk about other things? I don't do big sins. No, shaitan starts with the small ones. Or anything that you view small. It makes you think it's small. It makes you think it's not important. It makes you think that, oh no, it's okay. There's so many, that you hear, oh, so many people with beards do bad things. Yeah? Or so many people who pray all the time, they do all the haram. That doesn't justify you committing a sin as well. Oh, people with hijab don't do it. Doesn't matter. What they do is their concern. Your concern is what Allah wants from you. What Allah has ordered from you. That's what's important. Not that, oh, because someone else. So the second is the person who views what they're doing, the sin that they're doing, as something small. The third is the one that has pride in the sin. I'm happy. walk around openly. I don't care what anyone says. It's my life. I'll do what I want. Openly sinning, going out. I'll stick it on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat, and I'll tell everyone, and I'll be doing some stupid dance on TikTok as well, because I want everyone to see what I'm doing. I want everyone to see my stupidity and my sin. So I make it common for everyone to see. And so that shows my pride in that sin that I've committed. And the fourth thing that is worse than the sin itself is to be happy and reminisce over the sin. Where some people have changed their lives. They used to do something haram back in the day. Now they've stopped. But they go, back in the day, Allah Akbar, so much fun. Used to do all sorts back in the day. They reminisce. You're reminiscing on the sin is haram. Allah is Sattarul Uyub. Allah hid that sin. You have no right to expose the sin that Allah hid to other people, let alone reminisce over it. Oh, in my youth, bade maze liye. There's no reminiscing. It's worse than the sin itself. When you look back and think, oh yeah, those were good days. Now I have to pray and fast. It's not jais. Not jais. It's reminiscing over the sin. Every day shaitan is trying to pollute your soul with something. He starts with something small, but the aim is something big. Slowly but surely he pulls you away. He doesn't come in straight away and say, hey, why don't you commit murder? He doesn't wake you up and say, I know what's a good idea today, let's go kill someone. No, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. He says, it's okay, let's not pray today. You're tired. It's okay. He says, just look at this haram. It's okay. Just once. It's only music. I'll listen to it. It's fine. No harm. Even though Ali alayhi salam says, من طرب قلبه على حرف من آلات الغناء فكأنما لطم عليا على وجهه, says that the one whose heart becomes happy at the singing voice or the musical instrument, فكأنما لطم عليا على وجهه, it is as if he has slapped me, Ali, in the face. Those who listen to music. Then how can I say that I'm a Shia of Ali? Because he slowly, this is how shaitan gets you, slowly, step by step. One of the tricks is to make you think that you're super holy. It's not that you just sin. No, it's the ajab. Ajab is the sin, what we spoke about yesterday. He makes you think that what you're doing is great. I'm great. I'm really religious. Everybody else, they're all going to hell. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. That itself is a sin as well. You see, this is how intricate and how advanced shaitan is. Your enemy, when Allah says that ani'buduni, listen or obey me, هذا صراط مستقيم, or he says ألم أحد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين, that did I not take an oath from you, O children of Adam, that you wouldn't obey shaitan because he's your open enemy. This isn't just an open enemy, this is an advanced enemy. Do you know how advanced he is? The shaitan of the time of Adam is not the shaitan of today. He's learned. He learns. He progresses with technology. He knows all of your TikToks and your Snapchats and Facebooks and Instagrams. He knows everything. He knows how to distract you with whatever it is. If it's your PlayStation, it's your FIFA, Minecraft, or whatever other craziness that's there. He'll find some way of distracting you from that reality. Because he's advanced. This enemy is so advanced, he's so ahead of you, that he knows he's got over like 100,000 years of experience. And he's learning every day. Where I'm stuck in one way, not learning, not progressing, not moving, my enemy is getting far ahead of me. And so he knows the ways to distract you. He knows the ways to bring you off the path. He knows ways that you could not even imagine, because he is so much more advanced. And so he will slowly find ways. Say, yes, you're very pious. You're very, very pious. Says, you're very, very good. One day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Musa alayhi salam, says, Musa, I want you to go down from the mountain, and next time you come, bring something that is lower than you, that is lesser than you. Musa alayhi salam says, fine, Allah, as you command, I have submitted to your command. Musa alayhi salam comes down from the mountain. When it's time for him to go back in a couple of days, he starts looking around. Okay, what can I take? Who can I take? So he looks around and he sees some farmer working, not educated, just some farmer. I, Musa, Kalimullah. I, Musa, receiver of wahi. I, Musa, a prophet of God. Said, yeah, he'll be a good candidate. And then he looks and says, no, wait. He's growing food for the society. I'm not doing that. No, he's better than me. Then he sees someone else. He sees, there's a woman. She's got a child. She's not really doing anything, is she? She's just a lady with a baby. She's not really bringing any sort of added value to society. I am prophet of God. I have a mission from God. I am here to guide. So he says, yes, she's lower than me. I should take her. And then he says, no, wait. She's raising the next generation. She's giving tarbiyah to a child. I struggle with teaching adults. She's teaching a child. Says, yeah, she's better than me. Then he goes and he's looking around, so he says, okay, you know what, humans, this is a tough job. Let me look at the animals. So he sees a donkey. Says, it's a donkey. What use does a donkey have? I'll take this donkey. Says, wait, hold on. This donkey carries the physical burdens of people. And he carries it over great distances. Says, I couldn't carry a burden that far. No, I'm not better than this donkey. He starts looking around, everything, nothing. He starts to lose hope. As he's walking back, given up, like, I can't find anything, I'm going to fail this task. He sees a dog lying on the ground, flea bitten, ready to die, just terrible state. So he says, perfect candidate. So Musa alayhi salam starts looking around for a rope. Let me get a rope, tie this thing up, take it with me. So he's looking around. In the time that he's looking for a rope, a young boy comes over and he throws the dog a bone. And the dog bites the bone and starts eating it, and he stands up and he barks, and then he wags his tail. And the little boy starts laughing. Musa alayhi salam looks at it. Says, this dog, someone fed it, and straight away he was thankful to the person. Not just thankful, but he did something that made the boy laugh. I don't do that. This dog is better than me still. He gives up. Goes back to the mountain. Ya Allah, I looked around. I'm sorry. I couldn't find anything that's lower than me, anything that's lesser than me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replies, says, Musa, good. This is the reason why I've selected you as my prophet. Musa, no, if you had brought someone with you or something with you, I would have removed prophethood from you. The reason you are a prophet is because of your humbleness, Musa. Because you don't think yourself better than anyone. But the attacks of Shaitan for the religious are such that he brings slowly but surely that thought that I'm somehow better than these people. I'm somehow better than these individuals. And that's where he gets you. And when he gets you, that's where he brings you away from the hujjah of Allah. And where you end up in that state of al-witr al-mawtur. The Imam is alone. Why? Because I think I know better than the Imam himself. I think that I'm holy. The nafs can trick me into thinking that what I'm doing is the best thing that I could ever do. And I'm better than anyone and everyone. And the moment I think that, for anything, for an adult, for a child, for an animal, then I've lost myself. I've lost myself. And that's what Shaitan does. Hooks you in, he reels you in. But those that are the true awliya, those that are truly in control of their nafs, these matters don't affect them. They always try and look for an excuse. Mullah Ahmad Naraqi is the writer of a book called Jami' al-Sa'adah. Jami' al-Sa'adah is a book, it's translated into English. It's called Collector of Felicities. It's one of the best books on akhlaq and on spirituality and the way to progress and understanding your soul. There is nothing like it. The Collector of Felicities. In that he writes that book, and when he's finished writing that book, he's in Iran, and the book is published, and someone goes to Ayatollah Bahr al-Ulum in Najaf and presents him the book of Mullah Ahmad Naraqi. Says there's someone, Mullah Ahmad Naraqi, he's written this book, Jami' al-Sa'adah, the Collector of Felicities. Ayatollah Bahr al-Ulum opens the book, he begins to read it. He says, MashaAllah, what an amazing book. Really, there was a need for such a book in the Shia world. This was a real need. May Allah bless the author. May Allah aid the author in everything that he does. Closed the book, he kept it aside. Some months later, Mullah Ahmad Naraqi comes to Iraq for ziyarah. Comes to Najaf. And he says to his companions, after ziyarah, he says, let us go visit Bahr al-Ulum. Says he's a great alim, we should sit with him, learn from him. So they're coming towards the house of Ayatollah Bahr al-Ulum. Now, Mullah Ahmad Naraqi, he's not a small figure. People knew who he was. So as he's walking there, people have run ahead, whispering in the ear of Sayyid Bahr al-Ulum that Mullah Ahmad Naraqi is coming. So he enters into the gathering. Salamun alaykum, alaykum salam. How are you? Ayatollah Bahr al-Ulum is giving a dars. Mullah Ahmad Naraqi sits in the corner. Bahr al-Ulum carries on his dars, totally ignores Mullah Ahmad Naraqi. They come and they say to him, this is Ahmad Naraqi, the one you were praising the other day, the book Jami' al-Sa'adah. Fine. He carries on his dars, ignores him. After about 10-15 minutes, Mullah Ahmad Naraqi asks for permission to leave, and he leaves. Few days go by, he does his ziyarat, he says to his companions, let's go visit Bahr al-Ulum again. They said to him, he was really disrespectful to us last time. Are you sure you want to go? He says, no, look, Bahr al-Ulum is Agha. Bahr al-Ulum is our senior. Allah, it reminds a person of their duty to Allah when they look at the face of Bahr al-Ulum. Let's go. Second time they go. This time, Ayatollah Bahr al-Ulum is even ruder to him, only replying to his wajib salam. Mullah Ahmad Naraqi sits in the corner. Bahr al-Ulum ignores him. 15-20 minutes, stands up, asks for permission, leaves. He goes then to Karbala to do the ziyarat, Samarra, Baghdad, and then finally back to Najaf. And he says to his companions on his last day, he says, you know what? Let's go visit Bahr al-Ulum one more time. Sahaba, please. Twice we've been, twice Bahr al-Ulum has disrespected you. We can't go through that disrespect again. Mullah Ahmad Naraqi says, look, Bahr al-Ulum is Agha. He's our senior. By Allah, when you go to a man like him, it reminds you of your duty of Allah. Let's go, it's fine. He comes towards the house of Sayyid Bahr al-Ulum, and people run ahead again. This time they tell Sayyid Bahr al-Ulum, Ahmad Naraqi is coming again to see you. This time, Sayyid Bahr al-Ulum, he stands up, he runs out of his house, no amama, no abba, barefoot. He runs to the end of his alleyway to the street, and he meets Mullah Ahmad Naraqi at the street. He hugs him, he kisses him. He brings him with all respect back to the house and he sits him down. He says, I apologize for my behavior of the previous 2 days, but the book that you wrote was so amazing that I wanted to see, does the author of such a book actually live the life that he is spoken about in the book? And by Allah, you live that life. I tried what I could do to disrespect you, and nothing faltered in your mind. If there is anyone that is agha, it is you. You sit at the front, give us dars. And Ayatollah Bahr al-Ulum sits, dozanu, on his knees in front out of respect for Mullah Ahmad Naraqi, and he calls all his students, sit down. Mullah Ahmad Naraqi will give us some maw'idah, some dars. And they sit and they listen. This is what it means to not think yourself to be anything. To be nothing. As I said yesterday, what right do I have to be anything when I am nothing but mumkinul wujud? I'm a contingent being. But you see, when you allow shaitan to enter into your life, then the atrocities that a person can commit know no bounds. And that's what leads to the atrocities that took place in Karbala upon Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam. One atrocity after another. One dhulm after another. All of them. They did not even spare a 6-month-old child. That 6-month-old child, that Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, he remembers you at that time as well, in that difficult time. This was how difficult this death was for Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, that he calls out in his wasiyah. He says, Shi'ati laytakum fi yawmi Ashura jami'an tanzuruni. Oh my Shias, how I wish you were there on the day of Ashura and you would have seen كيف أستسقي لطفلي فأبوا أن يرحموني. How I took my 6-month-old child out, and what mercy they showed me, Husayn, and what mercy did they show the 6-month-old child. Your Imam says in Ziyarat Nahiya, Assalamu ala الطفل الرضيع مذبوح من الأذن إلى الأذن مذبوح من الوريد إلى الوريد. Salam be upon that 6-month-old child of Aba Abdullah that was slaughtered from ear to ear, from vein to vein. They say when the arrow hit the neck of Ali Asghar, ففتح عينيه والنظر إلى وجه أبيه يرفرف كالطير المذبوح. He says at that point the boy opened his eyes. He looked at the face of Imam al-Husayn. يرفرف كالطير المذبوح. He began to move his hands and his feet in the way that a slaughtered bird does. He began shaking in the hands of Aba Abdullah. What atrocities is it that Aba Abdullah had to face? Sa'ad Allahu qalbaka ya Aba Abdullah. What atrocities did Husayn alayhi salam have to face? But they continued even after his death. What they did to his Ahlul Bayt. Yesterday I said the 4-year-old daughter of Aba Abdullah, what dhulm she had to face. فَجَرُّوهَا عَنْ جَسَدِ أَبِيهَا. They pulled her from the body of her father, slapped her along the way. So much dhulm befell her that this child along the way, there is a riwayah that says that they stopped at a place. Then everyone was thirsty. She was the youngest, thirsty. And water was brought for the army. And Shamar began pouring water, and he noticed this young girl watching. He looked at her, he said, "Do you want to drink water?" She said, "Yes, I'm thirsty." He said, "You can only drink once we have all drank." She said, "Yes." She's only 4 years old. She's patiently waiting. He goes round, he pours water for all of the army. They all drink. Then he turns towards her and he empties the bag of water onto the earth. This daughter of Aba Abdullah, she runs to that wet earth and she places her face on the wet earth. Dhulm after dhulm, having to see her father's head on a spear, viewing that which happened to the head of Aba Abdullah. In the court of Yazid, seeing the head in a tray, Yazid pouring leftover wine into the tray, striking the lips of her father with a stick. One after the other, until one night in the prison, she sees her father in her dream. She wakes up crying and wailing. They say, "Sakina, what happened?" She says, "My father was just here. I just saw my father. He was just holding me. Where is my father?" They say, "Sakina, your father is in Karbala." She says, "No, I saw." She begins to cry. The women begin to cry. They tell Yazid that the women are crying. The 4-year-old daughter of Husayn is crying. What should we do? They say that Yazid said, "Send her the head of her father." Don't ever think that this was an act of mercy from Yazid. Who sends the severed head of a father to a daughter? This is not an act of mercy. He wanted to increase the pain in the heart of this girl. They brought the head of Imam al-Husayn covered in a tray with a cloth. They brought it in. She was so young, she thought it was food. Her aunt Zainab says, "Sakina, come." She says, "Auntie, I want my father. I don't want food." They removed the covering. She saw the severed head of her father. She ran towards the head of her father. She picked it up. Father, tell me who made me yatim, who made me an orphan at such a young age. Father, tell me who cut the veins of your neck. Father, Father, tell me who covered your face and your beard in your blood. أبتا ليتني كنت عمياء ولم أرى رأسك هكذا. Father, how I wish I was blind on this day, that I would not have to see you in this state. The narration says she laid on the ground. وضع فمها على فمه الشريف. She placed her lips on the lips of her father. She began telling her father of everything that happened, everything that befell them on the way to Sham. Father, they slapped us. Father, they whipped us. Father, no one was slapped more than our auntie Zainab, because whenever they wanted to slap us, Zainab would stand in the way and say, don't slap the children, slap Zainab instead. Says, Father, no one was slapped more than our auntie Zainab. She sits there, she tells her father of everything that has happened over these days. Short while later, a voice is heard from the head. Ya bunayya ilayya ilayya fa ana laka bil intidhar. Oh my child, come to me, for I am waiting for you. She lays down with the head. Imam as-Sajjad comes over. He sees the head on one side, the daughter of Husayn on the other. He places his hand on her body. He cries out, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Oh, Auntie Zainab, my sister has left this world. She's returned to my father. They called the lady to give ghusl to this child of Aba Abdullah. The body was taken to be given ghusl. As the lady was given ghusl, she left. She came out of the room. She came and she stood in the prison and she addressed the women of Ahl al-Bayt. She said, who of you is the eldest? Who is the elder amongst you? Who is the leader amongst you? Zainab al-Kubra stepped forward, said, what is it? Says, was this child ill in some way? Did this child suffer from a disease of some sort? She says, no, why do you ask? She says, there is no place on the body of the child where there is no wound on it, where there is no bruise upon it. What happened to this child? She says, this wasn't illness. This was the love that Shimar showed her. لا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ماتم حسين.
वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, 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 नाम ज़ैनब का जो गैरों ने पुकारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, वो गिरा ज़ीन से ज़ैनब की रिदा का ज़ामिल, वो गिरा ज़ीन से ज़ैनब की रिदा का ज़ामिल, कौन अब फातिमा जाई का सहारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, नाम ज़ैनब का जो गैरों ने पुकारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा, लो हुसैन इब्ने अली प्यासे ज़िबा होने लगे, लो हुसैन इब्ने अली प्यासे ज़िबा होने लगे, कितना शर्मिंदा वो दरिया का किनारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा होगा, वक्त सज्जाद ने कैसे वो गुजारा, या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन, कैसी ये शाम आई औलादे सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलादे सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलादे सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई, सज्जाद रो रहे हैं ज़ैनब से मुँह छुपा कर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलादे सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई, एक समत बेकफन है भाई का उसके लाशा, अब्बास की बहन का बाकी रहा न पर्दा, अब सोचती ज़ैनब मांगूं कफन या चादर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई। बाजू कहीं पड़े हैं, लाशा कहीं पड़ा है, ज़ैनब की बेकसी पर गाजी तड़प रहा है। रोती है बेकसी भी फर्शे अज़ाब बिछा कर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर। जो घर में दो कदम भी पैदल नहीं चली है, एक दिन में वो ही ज़ैनब अब्बास बन गई है। पैरे पे आ गई है तन्हा लम उठा कर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर। सजाद से लिपट कर कहती रही सकीना, एहसास हो रहा है मैं हो गई यतीमा, जालिम डरा रहा है नेज़ा दिखा दिखा कर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर। लाशों के दरमियां वो बाबा को ढूंढती है, मुंह अपना पीट कर ये फरियाद कर रही है, कदमों में ही सुला दो बाबा मुझे बुला कर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर, कैसी ये शाम आई औलाद सैयदा पर।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। अस्सलामु अलैका या रसूल अल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या खातमुन नबिय्यीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदुल मुरसलीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या अमीरुल मोमिनीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदुन निसाइल आलमीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या हसन इब्ने अली अमीरुल मोमिनीन व इब्न सय्यदिल वसीयीन, अस्सलामु अलल हुसैन व अला औलादिल हुसैन व अला सहाबिल हुसैन, अस्सलामु अलैका या गरीबुल गुरबा, अस्सलामु अलैका या मुइनुज़ ज़ुफ़ाए वल फ़ुक़रा, अस्सलामु अलैका या मुग़िज़ शिय्यत व ज़वारिफ़ फ़ी यौमिल जज़ा, अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अस्सलामु अलैका या साहिबल अस्र व ज़मान, अल अमान मिन फितनतिज़ ज़मान। अस्सलामु अलैका या खलीफतुर रहमान, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमाम इंस व जान, अस्सलामु अलैका या इमाम ज़माना हाज़ा, अजलल्लाहु ताला फरजक व साखलल्लाहु ताला मखरजक व ज़हूरक व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। सलावत। सब मिल के पढ़ेंगे इमाम ज़माने की दुआ। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल्लाहुम्मा कल्लि वलियकल हुज्जत इब्नुल हसन सलवातुका अलैहि व अला आबाइहि फी हाज़िहि स्साअह व फी कुल्लि साइतम वलिय्यन व हाफ़िज़न व काइदन व नासिरा व दलीलन व ऐनन हत्ता तुस्किनहु अर्ज़क तौआ व तमत्तिअहु फ़ीहा तवीला। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व आलि मुहम्मद। या बरे अल्लाह हमारी कलील सी इबादत को कबूल व मंजूर फरमा। हाज़रीन मजलिस की दिली हजात को पूरा फरमा। जितने भी हमारे मरहूमीन हैं उन सब के लिए सूरतुल फातिहा। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अर्रहमानिर्रहीम मालिकि यौमिद्दीन इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन इहदिनस सिरातल मुस्तक़ीम सिरातल लज़ीना अनअमता अलैहिम गैरिल मग़लूबि अलैहिम वलद्दाल्लीन। ZCC तमाम मोमिनीन की तरफ से मौलाना का शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं और तवक्को करते हैं कि फ्यूचर में भी हमें अपना कीमती टाइम से नवाजेंगे। बाबा बुलंद सलावत।